Welcome to War Journal, Flames of War. And this podcast is our thoughts and discussions about the Flames of War games and other related interests. This episode is brought to you by Tracy George and Chaos Magic. We are not claiming to be experts of the game, but just wanted to have a casual conversation about Flames of War. Without any further delay, we now make our advance onto the podcast. And here are your hosts, Tracy and Arthur.
This is Tracy.
And I'm Arthur.
Welcome to War Journal, Flames of War, Episode 14, A Wizard and the 7 Questions. What's on tap for today's episode, Arthur?
We have 7 topics of interest. We start with Battlefront's homepage and front page news. Social media gives me inspiration for our hobby. The U.S. artillery is my enemy and keep your enemies close. We cover rules involving at the double in That's New. We cover another Italian rule in Natural Tactics. We go back to school with our teacher Sun Tzu in Sun Tzu. And we end with a look at a new fantasy miniature game in Off Topic.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Battlefront Front Page news.
Alright, going to the front page. Got a lot of Berlin stuff coming out again. Not only models, but also some more lists.
Oh yeah, I looked at those, and I don't know history, so I'm not exactly sure what's in them.
Yeah, I agree with you on
And
that.
I kind of clicked on the description. It was more of a historic nature, and so I need to really get in there to understand, like, if there's actually a list I want to play as.
It looks like you got a lot more German lists now. Because it was before, it was like one.
Yeah, it was a doozy, but
now it looks like you're getting at least 4 more from what I see here.
yeah, they said there was going to be a total of 14.
Wow.
Not all German, but a total of 14
Okay.
more. And you could buy them one at a time, or you could somehow purchase like a group of them for a discount.
And then looks like they had some more for desperate measures too. I guess options. So bed spring armor, 160 millimeter mortar, and then a howitzer. Looks like that's for Soviets, the howitzer. And then the Great War, and then Team Yankee. I want more information than what I'm getting right now. I mean, is it I go, you go? Is it going to be like a big game like Flames of War? Is it going to be more of a little game like the Vietnam, I want to say?
Yeah. I think still the October is when they're going to announce what the game is. And Breakthrough Assault is just releasing like snippets to get us excited. And of course, the picture they have is behind.
Everybody's going to want to play that one with the Soviets helicopter.
Yeah. I think whoever plays this game, most people's going to have a hind. Either though, like, what do you play? Russia, because of the Russian hind. What do you play? Americans. Well, I got a couple of Russian hinds. That's an awesome helicopter.
Yeah, the models do look really neat. I'm getting more and more interested in this. Because also, I think it's not really historic. It kind of is, but not really. I mean, the models are what they're based off is real, but what's happening is not. And I think it could possibly pull in more players.
Yeah. And it's also, I just realized it'd be the first major miniature game dealing with using modern vehicles.
Yeah, because that's not easy, because normally at one hit and it's done. You know.
It's true, but like all the other major miniature games I can think of, none of them's.
Yeah, they kind of go what fantasy, and then you got Napoleonics and medieval.
I don't.
And then
what's Napoleonic?
Civil War. It's like
I wouldn't call that like a major company. All the major ones either fantasy, sci-fi, or War II.
Civil War is another big one. There's a lot of Civil War players out there. Going down things. So it looks like that's it for this one.
Yeah.
And then I'm waiting for more Team Yankee stuff.
Yeah. I need to do research and find out what's in the digital books for Berlin. Because even though they're $1 each, I don't want to spend $1 to find out Well, what's this? Oh, I don't really want to play that.
Yeah. I can understand.
So I got some research to do.
All right, so we answered 83, but didn't have the answer given to us. So, and we both said something different. So this one is a Soviet assault gun company consisting of 5 Su-76M tanks equipped with tank escorts is ordered to assault a dug-in infantry platoon. The defenders score 5 hits, one of them destroying one of the assaulting tanks. What happens with the assault? So we had A, the tank escorts aren't allowed to fight in the first round of combat in the assault. B, the assault guns have to pass a motivation test or abort the assault. C, the surviving tanks continue with the assault as only one tank was destroyed and or belled. And D, the assault guns have to abort the assault since they received 5 or more hits. Now, if I wouldn't have written this down, I don't remember what I would have said. So I said C, which is the surviving tanks continue, because there's only one are belled out or destroyed. You said A, which is they're not allowed to fight the first round.
Tank escorts.
The tank escorts. Okay. I never ran tank escorts, so this is the correct answer is D. So we were both wrong. So it's the assault guns have to abort the assault since they receive 5 or more hits. Are they open topped? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that might be a good idea to see what kind of tanks they are.
Top armor 0, therefore they retreat, is what somebody said. It looks like it's because it's top armor 0, which the stats are. Oh, there they are: 3 front, 1 side, and 0 top. I didn't know that. Such a failure.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, there is something about being 0 armor top, and then there's something about being open top too, and I just. So,
Okay.
they destroy one of the tanks. What was it? The assault guns have to abort the assault since they receive 5 or more hits. Interesting.
Okay. I definitely want to look that up.
All right, so looking at the rules here, from tanks falling back, basically, if you're fully armored, you don't have to worry about how many hits, it's just successful. But if you're not fully armored, then you fall back if you take 5 or more hits. And then if you go, we were kind of like, well, I thought top armor 0, all that. So when you go to page 8, it talks about fully armored vehicles have top armor 1 or 2. And this has a 0.
Yeah, I thought it was fully armored.
Same here.
Any armor.
I thought it had to be a dash or
Yeah,
something.
I thought it'd be a dash for open top, but okay, that one got us.
Okay, so we got that one. Learned something new there. I didn't even. Gosh. All right, so we are ready for 84.
Okay.
And this is one choice on this one. An American cavalry recon patrol attempts to cross a hedgerow. So you got the M8 armored car and the recon jeep successfully crossed, but there's a mortar jeep that bogged down. In the following turn, the patrol is targeted by an artillery bombardment. The bombardment scores 2 hits. Which teams receive the hits? We have A, the 2 jeeps, B, the armored car and the recon jeep, C, the armored car and the mortar jeep, D, whichever 2 teams the American player chooses. All right, I got my answer.
Okay, I think my answer is, I'll make sure, I think B.
That's what I put too, because bogged down and bailed out is last,
Yeah.
from what I can remember. So, is the answer down there? B! Yahoo!
2 operating vehicles, yeah.
Yep. So we got that one right. So we're 50%. Let's see if we can get 67. Got one last. Oh, they won't be having the answer on this one, so we won't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are now ready for question 85. A rifle platoon mounted in unarmored lorries finds itself under enemy fire. One truck gets destroyed, and all infantry teams dismount under fire. What happens with the remaining trucks? And you can only choose one. A, the remaining trucks are sent to the rear. B, the remaining trucks continue on as if nothing happened. C, the remaining trucks are destroyed and removed from the table. And I'm going to say that is my answer.
Water lorries?
Trucks. Think of just trucks.
Who has them?
A rifle platoon.
Oh, I mean, what country?
It doesn't matter. They're in, just think of it this way. A rifle platoon mounted in unarmored trucks finds itself.
Well, the thing is, like, Germany is different from... Germany has special rules for that.
It may be different in this situation.
Um...
Because this is dismounting under fire.
Okay, I say A.
A, same here. A. Because unarmored transports suck. If one gets destroyed, they all go to the rear. This, I think I remember. Armored don't do that. You just, they keep going. And then, if it gets hit, for every hit, the passengers have to make a save in an unarmored vehicle. They're cheap, but they're very fragile. All right, so that's that. We will see how we do next time.
Our hobby.
All right, you wanted to touch something in our hobby today, Arthur.
Yes. I saw a couple things on social media that I thought would be interesting.
Okay.
The first thing I saw is someone posted a picture about them going to the Air and Space Museum in, I guess, Washington, D.C. And they had a model of the a 1/100 model of the USS Enterprise.
Okay.
With a bunch of, as well as planes on it. And nothing could tell you just exactly how big carriers are by seeing a 1/100 scale model that is like 7 or 8 feet long. It just blew my mind how big that thing was.
Yeah, I haven't seen one either, so it's kind of like you see pictures of cruise ships, like, man, that thing's like 20-story tall, but you can't until you actually see it.
Yeah. It's like, I think it was bigger than this table. It was huge. And, of course, Flames of War is a smaller scale, but even, I think judging by that, if a battleship was if a carrier was in scale, it would still be 3 or 4 feet long.
Man.
And
it's almost like those Star Wars miniatures that are coming out. Those ships are huge. You got the little fighters, and now you get, what is it, Armada, I think they're called, or something like that. It's like, how in the world do you play this huge model on a small table like that? What have they been playing, like 4 by... well, I don't even think they played a normal 4 by 6. What, 4 by 4 or something?
When we start getting ships that big, you need to start expanding it out.
It's like that big AT-AT walker that came out a long time ago for the Star Wars miniature game. That thing took up almost the whole table. You're like, okay.
It kind of almost remind me of like Games Workshop and their Titans, and this huge $150, $200 model plus just plopping down, just destroying stuff. And kind of got me thinking, like, if Battlefront, you usually don't want to take advice from Games Workshop, but if they did, like to play like carriers for like the Pacific game, it's like $250 model, but you have a model.
No, it'd have to go down scale. Kind of like what is that? Axis and Allies or something had a ship game. It had, it was World War II, and it was pretty good scale. I mean, the ships were what, 4 or 5 inches long, maybe.
Well, I would think some on a scale of like the Titans of Warhammer would be carriers and battleships.
You little dinky men.
Well, it wouldn't be the same scale as the figures, but it'd be, even if it's a larger scale, or I should say smaller scale, it'd still be so big compared to the figures. It still looks like it They're like, that still fit, even though like the character should still be 3 times bigger.
That'd be just too big. Okay.
Well, it's just for one of those sort of like for really large, huge games when you're like,
Well, this almost reminds me of one time I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool, those 12-inch G.I. Joes, and playing a war game that uses that side, and it'd be like your whole house or something, or you're playing the whole game store, All right, I've got a, what is it like? I got a 15-foot range here. The big Jeeps and the big tanks and everything that they fit in and play with those.
That would be pretty awesome. That kind of reminds me of like a couple months ago on the front page they had a link to, I think Peter Jackson try to set up like a Great War battle. No, actually, I don't think they actually played, but just set up the battles, and it was like a 500,000 model.
Wow.
And it was like took up like a warehouse, and you could just see across the entire battlefield.
You'd have to play with my thing. You'd have to play in a parking lot, probably. I thought that would be pretty cool.
Oh,
Play
yeah.
those big GI Joes and their big vehicles and everything. You have the helicopter, and
That
whatever
would be
else.
awesome.
Yeah. So what was the second thing?
The other thing I noticed, like someone was mentioning, they was interested in playing boat action with their Flames of War stuff.
Oh.
And wasn't a whole lot of conversation about it, but someone mentioned that essentially tanks you can just use your figures. You have to put them on. They need to be on individually, and you need to put them on washers. But otherwise, you can probably play them. So that got me thinking. We have a lot of boat action players near, in our locale, and that might be a way we actually might play some games with them without us buying a whole lot of new stuff. Or, well, probably we have to buy figures, but
Well,
Flames of War figures is a lot cheaper than.
right. Well, another thing is I'm thinking like that. The Team Yankee coming out may possibly pull, because it is like you said. I don't think there's any modern day. It's not really modern, but but it's pretty close to modern day.
They're using modern weaponry.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's modern weaponry games out there, but they're not what I would consider the top brand. It's like what we see on the shelf, what we see people play. When people complain about Age of Sigmar, it's like, you should play this instead. None of those games mentioned has modern weapons.
Mm.
So that's what I'm talking about. Major game.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking at that, because that could apply to us. It would be a chance to play something different. It also comes out with a new idea of modern your infantry in such a way that, well, I could put these guys on this base to play Flames of War, or I could take them off and play.
You have to magnetize them or something, or peg them. Well, no, I don't think you. Well, I guess you could peg them, and the peg could fit in the base, but it sounds more like you'd want to magnetize.
So it's something to start thinking about.
Keep your allies close, but keep your enemies closer.
All right, so what I want to talk about today is USA artillery. And one of them we've got is the 105s. That's the one you normally run into that I play. The largest one I can normally get is the Long Tom. I love the model on the Long Tom.
Wow.
That's an awesome looking model. That's the only reason.
That's a scary looking model.
I think that's one of those models I've only bought because I really like the look of it. So what I'm going to talk about is the one that's in between, which is the 155, which is actually probably my favorite out of all these. But as some of the lists, you can't take the 155 unless you take some 105s. But there's some lists that allows you to take 155s. So
Is there any less with this thing in there?
the only thing I don't like about the Long Toms is there's no gun shield. I like the gun shield.
Oh, after this, you need to tell me what the stats of that Long Tom is.
Maybe next time. I'll hit the 155, and maybe I'll do that next time. All right, so you probably have something comparable to what I've got here, artillery-wise. Okay, so it's immobile, so you're going to have to use vehicles to move it around. It's got a straight shot of 24 inches, so it's shorter than a normal tank shot, but that's par for the course unless it's unless it's your 88s. It's one shot, anti-tank 10 with a 1+ firepower. So it's a Sherman, one-shot Sherman with a 1+ firepower and a shorter range. Now, one thing is it is a bunker buster. So if you can get it close enough to the bunker, it's got the gun shield like I talked about, which I like artillery pieces have the gun shield. You get that, okay, you hit them, yeah, but do the firepower. And then it does do direct fire smoke. Then the other option is to do your artillery bombardment. So that's 88 inches, anti-tank 5 against your top armor, and a 2+ firepower.
What was the first set of stats again?
One shot at anti-tank 10, 1+.
32 inches.
24.
Okay, so these are bigger.
Yeah, and you can also do smoke bombardments with this one. Like most artillery pieces in the U.S., you can do smoke bombardments. So I really do like this piece. It kind of can get a little expensive, but I normally am stuck with the 105s, which is one less on the anti-tank. So this is 5 for the 155s, but it goes down to 4. But then your firepower changes where the 155's a 2+, the 105's go to a 4+ on firepower.
That's significant.
Yeah, but it's a lot cheaper. I mean, if you're looking, I really got to cut some points somewhere, and it might just be the artillery piece. And next time I may talk about the long tom because I don't get to play it as much as I really want to, and I like the model.
That's a scary looking model.
So that is, you've seen the 3 main, except for like priests and stuff like that, but the 3 main man-packed artillery pieces, or gun teams. I guess they're not man-packed.
That's new.
All right, so what I want to talk about is, last time I talked about my Truscan trot, which was like 16 inches on the double. I did USA can move. So I kind of want to talk about moving at the double, which we rarely do, but I could see it coming in, like when you're talking about when I needed to really rush those guys up there. So there are a few tricky rules with it. So if you're going to move at the double, how close can you get to the enemy?
8 inches?
Yep, can't go within 8. Good job on that one. Yep. What about rough terrain?
Don't think you could go through there.
No. And you know what? You can't even go within 8 inches of it.
Wow. I didn't know that.
But you can, if the road curves or wherever, you can follow roads, though. So if you're out in the open and there's not enough gap between the two, you can't move at the double. I didn't know about that within 8 inches, even on rough terrain. I didn't even know about that.
Wow.
I wouldn't even thought about it.
I guess it's worry about going so fast and running into it.
I don't know. Now, if you do go around a rough terrain, what's the rules about that?
Do go around?
Yeah, you can go around. So let's say you have that 8-inch gap that you can go around it, but you need to get to the other side. What's basically the rule here?
I think otherwise you have to go in a straight line or mostly straight line or.
Yeah. Basically, if you go around a piece of terrain, you can't. Let's say you go left around and you start turning to the right to get around it to get to your place. You can't then rotate. The way you end up with how you were running through by that terrain is the way your model's going to face. So if you run straight ahead, your model's going to face as if you ran straight ahead. You can't stop and then turn it to face the enemy.
That makes sense.
All right, now, the last thing, well, there's 2 things, okay. One of them is what can the models do after they've gone at the double? Because you've got the movement phase, you've got the shooting phase, and you got the assault phase.
I'm trying to think what they can do. I'm like, it's not much if it's anything. I don't know what they can do. I think it might be one thing, but I don't know what it is.
As far as I know, unless it says otherwise, they can't do anything. You move it double, that's it. They can't shoot, they can't assault. Now, of course, they can be assaulted.
Yeah, I don't think they can
I
counter.
only think they could do defensive fire.
They can do that. I don't think they even can counter assault.
I don't know. Oh, I know, soft, what they call softies, like the unarmored stuff, they'll get out of there. I know that. And the independent, like your spotter. The artillery spotter, I believe he's one of them. But it's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it'll come up a question of the week.
Yeah, pretty sure they can't even counterattack. They have to break off.
Yeah, it's just, from what I got in my notes here, is just no further actions.
Yeah.
All right, the last thing is, if a machine gun's going to shoot at him, and it only has 3 dice, what is it going to get?
6.
All right, what if a tank's going to shoot at him and normally has 2 dice?
4.
What if an artillery is going to do bombardment?
That one I don't know. Because I know you normally double the number of hits. So I guess you roll out normally, and then however normal hits you do, you double it.
No, has no effect. You just do a normal artillery bombardment. And the last one is, what if the airplane comes and tries to strafe them, or bomb them or whatever?
Do they get double hits?
No. So if the opponent only has artillery bombardments and airplane, move at the double. Because they just get their normal shots at you. And if you're moving at double, you can really use it spreading out too. Because you have the extra movement. Especially for USA. So I thought about that after we talked about USA moving at doubles. Like, well, there are some special rules, and I totally forgot about it. You can't. From what I got here, you can't even go within 8 inches of a
Yeah, that's interesting.
terrain.
But yeah, that's what we do, is keep random rules fresh in our minds. Now we just need to play more.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. Hold on. You know what? My notes here, I was totally wrong. I don't know why I did that. Oh, I see. Okay. It's not within 8 inches of an enemy, but you can go next to rough terrain.
Oh.
I had in my notes here, rough terrain, not within 8 inches. I had not within 8 inches below it, and I meant the enemy. Oh, gosh, I can't believe I did that. So, you're fine to go the gap, shoot the gap between terrain. It's just that there's an enemy within 8 inches. You can't. And, independent teams and warriors, of course, they don't count. I'm just wondering, there's nothing on there that says line of sight. So you can't, it doesn't say, normally it says like within line of sight, or this says just not within 8 inches of an enemy. So even if they're not in line of sight, you can't go within 8 inches. So sorry about that. That was my fault. But probably remember it more now because I did make that mistake, and I better make better notes next time.
Yeah. So you can go within 8 inches.
Yeah.
So you just can't go into rough terrain.
Right. Now I will warn you, there are some USA units that can move a double through rough terrain and slow going. So, all right. So that's it. Mistakes and all.
This is your in-depth reporter, Tiger Sherman, from Military Times News, and our continuing coverage of national tactics.
All right, Arthur, what do you got?
Okay, going back to Italy, even though I haven't played with them in a while, I want to talk about heroism.
And that's the rule's name is heroism?
Yeah,
Okay.
The rule name is heroism. The rule is like when your company first has a command team destroyed by the enemy, roll a motivation test for that command team. It can never be re-rolled. If the if they pass the motivation test, the officer shrugs off his wounds and shouts encouragement to his men to fight the enemy and fight on as an unknown hero. On any other roll, the command team is destroyed as normal, and you roll again to discover your hero next time. If the hero unknown heroes nope, skip something. Once you have found your unknown hero, stop rolling. There can only be one unknown hero in your company each game. So once you get one, you stop rolling and you don't have to roll for that anymore. If your unknown hero is an infantry team, bring the team back into play. If the unknown hero was a tank team, the hero transfers to any other tank in his platoon within command distance, making that platoon command team. If there's no suitable tank within the command distance, the unknown hero is out of battle and removed from the game. Ooh, that could suck. An unknown hero in any platoon led by him always passes motivation test on a 2+. If the unknown hero is destroyed while leading a platoon will continue to take motivation tests as if led by the unknown hero, although all other penalties for being out of command still applies. So big things here. You can only ever have one, and once you have him, that team passes motivation test on 2+. Even if he dies, he can still pass it on 2+.
I think I ran into that once against you.
Yeah.
I could not keep that unit pinned down.
You're like,
No, let me roll my 2.
seems like it. I'll back up.
That was the one I think was racing for the objective or something.
Yeah, he was running here, and they deployed on the far side of me.
Yeah, they were on my flank, coming to my right side of my flank, right against the edge of the table.
Yeah, and they came hot, and then used the opportunity to get up to you and charge, kill a bunch of guys. I think in return, you killed. I also put my command team up front, so it was like, yeah, I would die. So yeah, I came up with 2 guys. Roll my motivation. I passed. He comes back. He's like, that
I'll come back at you with 2+.
And then that was your downfall.
Oh, I had a lot of downfalls. That was just one of them.
Yeah.
One of many.
Yeah, so that's a neat rule that's through all of Italy.
Now, this is also one of those that you don't know the motivation until, the game begins or something?
That's a different special rule.
Okay.
But the army that this major played a role in, those were the elite guys. There was fearless veterans. They didn't roll there. And those are my favorite units in Italy. But yeah, like for most of Italy, you have to roll, so you don't know what you're going to get.
I don't remember why I played you that one time, but you had even though you guys were getting hit, you were getting unpinned quickly. I can't remember what the rating was, but it seemed like a pretty good one to roll. You rolled a 6 if I'm right.
Like a regular guys, fearless conscripts.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hitting you and pinning you, and you go, I'm unpinned. And you had so many men, I couldn't kill them like I wanted to.
Yeah, it's like, you killed 4 guys.
4 out of 20 something.
Yeah, I think each one has like 25 guys.
Gosh, yeah, I remember that. It was,
And then, like, you move a little too close, I realize, yep, that's
like I said that Avanti.
Avanti time.
So, what, you move 6, Avanti, and Assault 4. So you had 4, if I was within 14.
Yeah. It was less than 4. You were about 12. I'm like, yeah, that's Avanti range. Here's 25 guys running towards you.
For some reason, it seemed like I had that in a bad dream, but I guess it really happened in real life.
It was a bad dream, but it's also real.
God, that was horrible. I thought I might possibly win that game if I got that one side. Yeah, that's good. Oh well. All right, so
yeah, I need to play Italy some more.
Yeah, so you can have one, and it gives you guys really good motivation.
Yeah.
Now the only way to get rid of it is you just have to get rid of the unit.
Yeah, you have to wipe out the unit. Or it's like I said, it's like if I have a unit of tanks and you kill, or like you somehow just kill all the other tanks and then kill him, like I lost that rule.
Okay.
Because he got to transfer to another tank, he can't transfer. And So I lost that roll. Because I have to roll to see if he becomes an unknown soldier before I do that check.
You were taking a chance, though, throwing that guy. I'm going to kill off my commander first. Let's see if I get him back. Because if you fail, they're stuck.
Yeah.
They can't move. Unless they're recon. No, even recon. I mean, if they lose their commander, they're stuck there until they get... Well, you get... Well, I don't think they have German tactics, so...
Oh, yeah.
So they were... If you failed that and I withdrew, they couldn't move once they did their consolidation.
It's true, but I could also run like my second command up there or someone up there like.
So you were taking somewhat of a risk there.
Yeah.
All right, soldier, you will shape up and you will listen, because we are now going to talk about Sun Tzu and the art of war. Attention!
All right, so we are continuing in chapter 1 of Sun Tzu, and we are now on 11, which says, these 5 heads should be familiar to every general. He who knows them will be victorious. He who knows them not will fail. And they're talking again about the 5, which was the moral law, heaven, earth, the commander, method, and discipline. So those are the 5 things. So the general that knows this is going to be victorious compared to the one that did not. At least that's what I got from that, number 11.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Number 12. Therefore, in your deliberations, when seeking to determine the military conditions, let them be made on the basis of a comparison in the wise. And I think it's going to give us a list of 7 things now. We kind of got to questions we got to answer.
Yeah.
So this goes to 13, which is number. It's going to sound 13 number 1, but it's going to be 13 number 1, 13 number 2. So 13 has a list of 7 things.
Yeah. So in your deliberations, when determining military outcomes, you need to base your comparison on these 7 things.
Okay. So the first one is, which of the 2 sovereigns is imbued with moral law? And moral law goes again back to, do they follow their leader? Yeah. Do they have accord with their leader? So which one of those people do the people actually follow leader, or they don't really follow that leader? They may break. Number 2, which of the 2 generals has the most ability? And that's one of the things I have heard about Flames of War. You can have somebody have the worst list and somebody have the best list. Yeah. That one that knows how to play the game, even though they have the worst list, will probably win.
Yeah. That's how it is for a lot of games. Only really, really bad games. And that's not a case at some level.
Yep. Okay, so number 3. With whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth? And again, just to reference back, I'm going back here. Heaven is like night and day, cold and heat, times and seasons. So we did talk, or at least I did talk about like Hitler, and Napoleon ran into that too. When they went against Russia and got the winter. They didn't plan that out very well, so it hurt. And the earth was distances and danger, security, open ground, narrow paths, so the terrain.
Yeah.
So the one who has advantage in that, who has the advantage in that? That was another question. Number 4 question. On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? Now, this is one where I was starting to think that it could apply to Flames of War, because you have that motivation, the training, and you got to make that die roll. And you're more likely to make it with a veteran.
Oh, yeah. So,
or even like the morale checks. Fearless compared to reluctant.
Yeah.
So I can see this. Which side, even though you may have more stuff, dice, you have to get 5s and only have to get 3s.
Yeah, which side discipline is more strictly enforced? Who has the highest motivation?
Yep. Now, it's not guaranteed, but I can see that being part of the game. All right, now, number 5. Which army is stronger? That one...
Yeah, it's like... You're like, if you look across the table, like, that's a lot of Yagyu Tigers.
Yeah, I can see army building.
Yeah.
Who built I would say more rounded in Flames of War compared to a one-trick pony.
There's that. There's also just if someone's like built for what's their strength, if they're got a lot of just tank destruction, like need to keep that in mind.
But if they're running against infantry,
Yeah, or just like, or it might be just like, yeah, in a heads-up battle, I'll lose.
yeah, because the way I'm thinking about this is one of the people that used to play and he moved was he saw a rule like infiltration. Well, that's going to win me the game. And that was, so he built his whole army on infiltration, and he got so hosed because he's playing against somebody that did recon and his infiltration couldn't move. Or did something, the recon stopped that infiltration and so his army just collapsed because he built it so much around that getting that infiltration in. Okay, number 6. On which side are officers and men more highly trained? So again, we're coming to that training with the die roll.
So that'll be the other side.
So one of them was morale. So
the first one was
discipline would be the morale part.
Yeah.
That was number 4. Number 6, we're going to the training part.
Yeah.
Like I need to dig these guys in.
Yep.
They're conscripts. Unless you start the game that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wow, this is amazing how much this fits Flames of War.
Yeah.
For other games, maybe not so much, but those two in particular fits Flames of War perfectly.
And number 7, in which army is there the greater consistency both in reward and punishment? I don't know how that would apply because you can't really reward your men.
Well,
You can punish them, I guess. That model, what do I want to do with this model?
Well, I don't think that's what they talk about.
I know.
And they're talking about more along like, I guess this is where we were talking about before with this guy focused on infiltration, which is like his reward is like this infiltration is going to win me a game, and punishment recon hoses him. I think that's where they're trying to talk about.
Okay, so we're going to hit 14, and I kind of want to go back to something. So 14, so we're done with the 7. In 14, by means of these 7 considerations, I can forecast victory or defeat. Yeah. Now, kind of going through this, number 1 is viewed with moral law. I'm seeing which ones really apply, and that is, I don't think that's 1 because the model's going to do what you want them to do. Unless there's some die roll involved, they're going to move where you want them to go. So number 1, I don't see applying. Number 2, which 2 generals has more ability? That can apply. Yes.
Who have the most experience are better at playing the game.
And knows all the rules. Because there is a lot of nuances in this game.
So they're going to have an advantage.
Okay, number 3, with whom lie the advantages derived from heaven and earth?
There
could be because you play night rules. We're going to do night fighting.
Yeah, night rules. It just the way the battlefield is set up. That could just affect. Like the time we played, I had the Panzer trap teams and the snipers, but we also played with a lot less scenery than we used to, which really reduced where I could deploy them.
And I didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah, I know. We played a sort and we wanted to play quickly, and we just like blop blop blop. Let's play. And then I just realized, dang, that screwed me.
Okay, so that one applies. Okay, number 4. On which side is discipline most rigorously enforced? I can see that coming into play with dice rolls.
Like we talked about, the high motivation reading.
Which army is stronger? I can see that because of army building.
Yeah.
If you build a horrible list,
Yeah.
that could come back to player knowledge. I'm a better player, so I can make up for that. But there are some things you just, why'd you put that in your list?
And not even necessarily that. It's also like the thing, like, if I work in a upfront face-to-face battle, I just lose. I just cannot win that way.
Yeah. Number 6, on which side are officers and men more highly trained? So again, that does come into play in Flames of War with a dice roll. In which army is there a greater consistency both in reward and punishment? That one I'm kind of,
That works, but that that doesn't have a really easy. Well, that means this.
Right.
It's like, what do you bring? Break down this army's win and lose conditions.
All right.
What's good for them? What's bad for them? How they're going to, and then compare it to their opponents. And then, out of all those things, you can put together like, yeah, like I probably have a weaker army. The battlefield's not on my side, but I'm a better general. I have better motivation and training. And with this army play styles, I have a really good high reward factor into it. I think I have a good chance of winning.
Then if you're like, no, number 1, no, number 2, no, number 3, no, number 4, no, number 5, yeah, let's not play.
Well, in that case, we play for experience, so you can get better. Like
That's true.
you're just like, well, I know it's coming.
Just slap me now and get it over with.
Like, okay, I'm gonna play, but please be chill.
All right, well, I thought that was some good information there.
Yeah. That's basically how much that fits Flames of War.
And now for something completely off topic.
All right, you wanted to hit something also up and now off topic.
Yes. Like I said, I saw 3 things in social media, and the third thing I saw was someone posted a picture of a wizard they painted up a little flamboyantly, but it was beautiful done. And they mentioned it was just for this game called Frostgrave. And that kind of got me interested, so I started looking up things about Frostgrave, and I found a wealth of information and reviews, and it really has me intrigued. Have you played or know about the Games Workshop game Morning Helm?
I know you played just a few models, if I'm thinking about the right one, because there's some people that used to play like Friday night, and you had they set up like a small town,
Yeah.
and they basically go shoot each other up.
Yeah. For almost every review of this game I've seen compared it to that game. It's the exact, very similar style. And basically is you have a war band, and then you go for adventure looking for treasure to level up your guys. On Board Gamer Geeks, they mentioned that this game could be played with 2 to 8 players. It's best with 4, 5, or 6.
Huh.
So that looks interesting. The game is by Offspring Games. I think they might be the guys who does bolt action.
Yeah. Well, they're actually, I think, Warlord, I think, does bold action, but they're part of the Osprey. Osprey is the one that writes those military books.
Yes. Which is the other thing I want to come back. As far as I know, Frostgrave it has some models, but it's mainly a rule book. So, for one thing, that make it cheaper than other kind of board games like it. But, like, the game itself is based around wizards.
Okay.
And your apprentice. Which you start with a wizard for free. And everyone has the exact same stats. There's 10 schools of magic in this game. Your wizard starts with 8 spells. Each school has 3 other schools they're aligned to, 5 that are neutral, and 1 they're opposed to. Your starting wizard, each school has 8 total spells in there. Your starting wizard knows 3 spells in his own school, 1 in each of your aligned schools, and any 2 neutral spells. And how it works is you use a D20 die.
Okay.
And for spell casting, the spells have like a casting level. You roll a die. If you get equal to or higher than that, the spell goes off. If you cast, you can eventually learn any spell, but probably like you try to use spells you're opposed to, it's harder. So, and the way this works is like each wizard, you could make your wizard so differently that each wizard is so different from each other and plays very uniquely. And then after you have your wizard, you can build a party of adventurers for you. gets like so many gold, and then he's like, I want to hire a knight, I want to hire an archer, I want to hire this guy, I want to hire this guy. And then, you go for your venture. Well, I heard a lot of people mention that you could just play a one-off game. The game shines in this campaign mode, which has a story mode, and you can have elements go through there. And also, unlike like modern other games like this type, your goal is not really to kill other players. You go in there looking for treasure to level up, and maybe you can hurt some of your guys on the side. Let's get the bonus. So it seems like a really interesting game, and it took me a lot of searching to even find the models for this game.
That's one thing I want to know is what kind of scale are we looking at?
I think we're looking at 28mm scale,
Okay.
like what most fantasy games are in. And what was that? Oh, like one thing almost everyone mentioned is the book is beautiful. It's like it's about $25 US dollars. The book is beautiful, has great artwork. It has a lot of charts in it. Kind of remind people talk about it remind me of like old school D&D books.
Yeah.
Because that's the other elements about the game is like sometimes you're fighting and then there's random monsters, neutral monsters or villains in their town, and you see by rolling charts like remind me of like rolling a counter. Oh, there's 3 wolves here, and just have a chart of all kinds of stuff like that.
Now, when you first said chart, the first thing that popped in my mind is Rollmaster, which I think I showed you.
Yeah.
Which I really want to play because I used to play back in the day. But, you know, it's like, all right, you hit with your axe. Let me get the axe chart.
Not quite like that.
Oh, wait, no, you're using a spear? Let me go to the spear chart instead, you know.
Combat seems to be really, really simple. It's like we have 2 figures fight, you both roll a d20. Whoever roll the highest hits and do damage. You take what you roll on your die and subtract their armor. That's how much damage you do.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah. And it seems to work fairly well. Here, all the spells, vast amounts is very vast and different. Changes gameplay a lot. And, like, I really like it. And from my point of view, like, for a new game, it's cheap for me to get into. For someone who doesn't have any miniatures, though, it's an uphill climb because you have to buy everything.
Yeah, that'd be me.
Well, you have a lot of board games. You can just go like.
Well, I guess I do have a lot of Clan War.
Clan War.
I got a lot of Clan War.
There's that. It's just like there's some board games that like I'm gonna take the figures for this game or the figures for this game. Yeah, you have.
If I get to use my Chiron War Dogs, I might be in because I really like those models from Clan War. Yeah, I forgot I had all those Clan War models.
Yeah,
I think they're the right scale.
Yeah, I think that's about right. And if nothing else, like might have enough stuff for like the random events, and like use those on there. And there's also things like Reaper miniatures. They don't really have a game. They just sell all kinds of miniatures from wide range. You can get them that way. If you really want to spend money for Games Workshop models, you can grab those. And that's like one of the reviews I was looking at. They was all using like Skaven models. So that got me thinking like almost everyone I know might be interested in playing this has like a wide range of miniatures to already play with. It's not like they kind of inquire you use theirs.
Right.
And they also got a new something else coming out in November, like another adventure or rule pack. So yeah, everything I read about the game really got me excited to play. Because it seems it's fairly simple. We know enough people who can bring enough models to play the game. And also might inspire people to buy some other alternate ends. Like, I never needed a bear model or a wolf model. But, if we roll up and like, a bear's over here is going to come out and attack people. It's kind of cool to have this model out. Like,
Yeah.
So I'll be looking towards getting that soon. No, soonish.
Soonish. Well, let me know when you do. Well, that wraps up another episode of War Journal, Flames of War. Your host, Arthur and Tracy, thank you for listening to this episode. You can find us on iTunes. If you like the episode, please subscribe and leave a positive review. You can find us on Facebook at Flames of War. And please like us. In addition, you can follow us on Twitter at warjournal_FOW. You can also find us on YouTube. Search for Tracy George, Flames of War. You can read Arthur's blog at chaosmagicwizards.blogspot.com. Finally, you can email us at warjournalflamesofwar@gmail.com. War Journal Flames of War is all one word, so no spaces are required. Also, please share the show on any social media of your choice. So, until next time, as always, have a good game.